questions from the n8n level 1 course. First question is, what can you do if there is no n8n node for some app or service which you want to use in workflow? In that case, we can use the HTTP request node, which is basically using the API request. So if let's say, for example, Airtable has no node in n8n. Usually n8n has a node for Airtable where we can add entries into Airtable, but let's say it doesn't have, or some service like Airtable which doesn't have a node in n8n. Then in that case we can just refer to API documents and then use HTTP request node. Which of the following are core nodes? Schedule node, if node, webhook node. These are basic or core nodes. Telegram node is a node to connect to Telegram, so it's not the core node. Which are the trigger nodes? So schedule node and the Airtable node are the trigger nodes. So using these nodes, the workflow can be triggered, so they are called as trigger nodes. Where do you get credentials? Credentials for any app or service you can get from that app or service. So if you want to use Airtable, then you have to create the credentials in Airtable and then add those credentials to n8n. You can download workflows.exe. now it's JSON. You can download it as JSON, or you can also import from a local JSON file into n8n. So how does the node execute code? There are two options. You can execute it once for each item, or you can execute once for all items, together for all the items. This is covered in the basic course. What is the difference between if and switch? So this is programming thing. If has two conditional roots, so true or false, and switch you can add multiple conditions. If has only binary like true or false. Which programming language can you use in the code node? JavaScript and Python. What is the correct data structure? So this is the correct data structure in n8n. Like, this is a list of JSON, so square bracket for the list, and then this curly bracket for the JSON, like this curly bracket for the key name and the value. And you can, as this is a list, so we have to add one more JSON curly bracket, so you can also add in more JSONs. When executing the code node, you might get error. Code doesn't return items properly. As it says, the code node doesn't return the data in correct structure. So there is some problem in the code, or it's not able to return the data. That's why this error happens. So you'll have to check the code. You can activate only workflows that are trigger or webhook node. Yes, you need a trigger or webhook to start and activate any workflow. What can be reasons of node errors? Credentials are missing, or the parameters are not configured correctly. Now this is regarding the workflow. You have to change the example one workflow. I will show you how to change it. So you have if node has one condition currently, and you have to add another condition to filter the in the if. Before, in the if, you had only this condition, and now I added another condition to also filter out the orders which are done by Mario, as it's told in the quiz. You have to filter the orders done by Mario, and before we were just filtering the orders which we were processing. What is the value of condition? The condition parameter is a string, because we are going to filter out Mario, and Mario name is a string. And what is the value? 1. They call it value 1 in n8n. So like here you can see, if you add a condition, it's always called value 1. I will delete this. So I had added this condition, json.employee name, which you have to set it to a string Mario, JSON employee name, same. What is the value of operation? Equal, pretty basic stuff. What is the value of value 2? So this is the value 2. That's all. Like if you see, and then call this as value 2. Value 2 is Mario, which is a string. Now duplicate the core node and add it to the true branch of if node. So this I had done. A code node I had, if you click here, you can duplicate it, add it to the true branch as told in the quiz question. And when you execute the code, you get this data result. So total book or 5, and booked sum is 699. That's what will be asked. Total book or 5, value 699. So this is the result of the if node. So in if node we had processing and Mario. Only those orders are calculated here in the book total. Before before we did not have this node, and we had only this node. Execute the code node connected to the false branch of the if node. So now we have to execute this. So now it's 25 and book sum is 2944. What is the difference now? So here before we were like the original workflow, we were not filtering for Mario. Now we are filtering for Mario, and here are the orders which are not booked by Mario. Before it also included the orders booked by Mario, so the numbers would change, and these are the new numbers, and the quiz also asks us to enter those numbers. Total book 25 and book sum is 2944.88. So the difference is that we have now added additional filter Mario, and those orders will go into the true path, and in the false we have of course the orders which are not processing, which are booked basically, and orders which are not belonging to Mario. Yes, that's what they also ask us. Or do the new results represent all the book orders that are not assigned to Mario? So that's the end of the quiz, and yeah, we will see how much result I get from this quiz, and I will let you know later in the comments. Thanks for listening and watching.